Welcome to day 5 of my 25 days of Christmas. Today we're going to be making persimmon ice cream. So good. Got some tomatoes last night. So if you drain your zucchini, I think you hoppy cat, chili dog meal, sauerkraut. So I actually have a glut of persimmons right now. I have a ton on my tree. We have a friend who just gave us a box of persimmons, and then of course I've got some that are very ripe. So when I make cake or smoothies or ice cream, I always like my persimmons really soft. Now if you're eating a fuyu persimmon, you can eat it when it's not so soft, but the softer it gets, the sweeter it is. So I actually have a video on persimmons. I'm going to link it above, but this is how I like them when I'm baking. So right now I'm going to go ahead and take all the pulp out of these. I'm going to set aside 1.5 cups of it for my bread, and the rest I'm going to use for my ice cream and smoothie. So I have so much of this persimmon puree, I've decided I'm going to make mine into the best ice cream in the whole world. Now I have a Ninja Creami, but if you don't, you could easily make this in a regular ice cream maker. I use fat-free cottage cheese, either monk fruit sweetener or liquid stevia. I make this myself. And sometimes I put cocoa powder in it. Sometimes I put sugar-free pistachio pudding. But basically, I almost always put vanilla pudding, sugar-free. So this is a really good, healthy option. You also could put a little bit more almond milk in it if you wanted to make it more of a smoothie. Got a brand new tub of cottage cheese. I'll probably be using this whole thing. And this is where you're really going to get your protein, is from the cottage cheese and the almond milk. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a scoop or 2 of cottage cheese. And the way I do this, I know I don't measure it really good, but one of these little, it's like a miniature blender, 12 ounces. So I'm going to use about 18 ounces for my particular creamy. But if you're making ice cream, you know, you'll have to adjust it for your taste. I'm going to show you how I do it for the creamy. And I freeze it in one of these containers, one of my creamy containers. So I'm going to add some milk, almond milk, but you can use regular milk or cream, whatever you like. And then I take about 1/4 cup of puree and I put that right into my creamy. Now this particular creamy is going to have, I might go ahead and put in like 3/4 cup. This is a 1/2 cup measuring spoon. Now I'm going to use some of this sugar-free pistachio pudding mix. I use about 1 tablespoon of that. And I also use, I like monk fruit sweetener, but if you prefer to use stevia or something like that, use whatever it is that you like. So I usually put in about 1.5 tablespoons. And then I fill the rest up with almond milk. That's how I kind of gauge mine. Now I put the pudding in really because it just gives it a great texture. Just love this pudding mix in my creamy. Just give it a blend. All right, see, nothing to it. Now I freeze these and then I put them together at night in my Ninja Creami. And it is just one of the easiest things. I kind of do this at the beginning of the week and get all this done. So this is going to be the pistachio. And what I like to do is kind of match the lids with what it is I'm making. So I'm going to use a green lid because I'm only going to make one of the pistachio. And I put this in the freezer just like it is. Okay, I don't even clean out my mixer because I'm going to be making all persimmon. So I'm going to go ahead and add my cottage cheese, about 1.5 spoons. however much you want. I'm making like 4 of these, so I want to make sure I have enough. This time I'm going to put some vanilla pudding in, sugar-free. About a tablespoon. I'm going to put my persimmon puree in. If you wanted to put, you know, whole fruit, or I have made this with just about every fruit there is, but honestly, this is one of my favorites. I just love this persimmon. Now this one, I'm actually going to make, I put the vanilla pudding in to thicken it, but I am going to add a little bit of cocoa powder, about a tablespoon. And some almond milk. And this is my chocolate. Give that a good blend. Sometimes on the chocolate you got to give it a little stir. I don't know why it kind of goes to the top like this, but a little stir. Now my creamy also mixes mine up, so if yours does this, maybe put the chocolate in at the first thing you put in. Now we're gonna know our chocolate because it's brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my creamy container. Now this one I'm probably going to rinse out because the next 2 that I'm making are just gonna be the persimmon with the vanilla. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the freezer. I don't really wash these, I just give them a quick blend because I am making a couple more. All right, a little bit more of the cottage cheese. Some of the persimmon. We're going to use our vanilla pudding. I've got about a tablespoon left. And after I open these, I just kind of fold them up and put them in the freezer. Now to this one, we're just going to add some almond milk. And we're going to add some monk fruit sweetener. And this is all we're going to add to this. I've got some pudding on the sides, no big deal. All I'm gonna do is just kind of, you know, go down the sides with my spoon. Sometimes it does this. This is one of my favorite ice creams, smoothies, whatever you want to call it, that you could ever make. It is just out of this world. It is so good. And I'm not exaggerating. If you've never had really ripe, fresh persimmons, you're missing out. They are so good. All right, lid on. Send it to the freezer. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring the bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.